Watching a movie 7 days in a row, it's got to be something that's pretty pleasant to watch. Princess Bride. Who can't watch Princess Bride 7 times? You can watch Princess Bride 7 times in a row on one day. It'd be a piece of cake to watch it 7 times in a week. And High-Waisted Pantaloons asked, if I could go back and witness any event in history, which would it be? To be honest, I am not a great history buff. I find it interesting, but I don't know history as well as I wish I did. Even with my limited knowledge of history, this is a terribly difficult question. One of the things that I find interesting and challenging about this question is that so many of the events in history, the major turning points, we think of as turning on crises and tragedies and disasters and horrible things happening, assassinations and things, and assuming that when you're asking to go back and witness a major event in history, you're only looking at being a fly on the wall, not someone who can intervene and tell Lincoln, maybe tomorrow would be a better night to go see this play. Even the things that we have come to celebrate, we also have come to question. So, it might be interesting to be there when Columbus landed in the New World, but it wouldn't carry the same feeling that it might have 50 or 60 years ago when we could ignore the problems that caused for the people who were already here. Of course, I was around to watch the lunar landing on television, and it would have been cool to have been able to see it live, but they probably wouldn't have appreciated me being an extra person jammed into the capsule. It was already pretty cramped there. Although you should really watch Daniel Vincent Gord as Neil Armstrong if you haven't seen that. I'll put a link to information about that lunar landing that everyone should watch in the doobly-doo. Please make sure you check that out. Because I have seen it depicted in the musical Miss Saigon 7 times, I believe, it might be interesting to have been in Vietnam when the Americans were pulling out for their final departure. But again, that's a big disaster and not a real pleasant time. But it is, like I say, something I've seen 7 times on stage. Maybe I would evaluate the whole thing differently if I had been there to see it in person. And I'm a great believer in progress. I think that we do not go backwards, that we move ahead, and life gets better much more than it gets worse in the long run. But it is always a long run, and progress is a very gradual, step-by-step kind of change, and doesn't offer as many great points to go back to and visit that you can see as you do when you look at the breaking points rather than the breakthroughs. There was the point where Gandhi led the Indians to overthrow their colonial rulers non-violently. That would have been something to see. The People Power Revolution in the Philippines, similarly, would have been nice to have been there for that. But I'm more curious and more interested in what's happening today. Major historical events. How about a night of awesome, the Carnegie Hall concert with Hank and John. I wish I would have been there. Or maybe Hank's concert at the Roxy last summer. I was really upset that I missed that. I probably would have much rather been there than, being on the grassy knoll to see Kennedy assassinated. I would probably have to go with that. If there were a major historical event I wish I had been able to witness, it would likely be Hank's concert at the Rocks last summer. So those are some questions I've answered. And I'm curious now. You can call it a tag video if you're into videos, or you can just answer in the doobly-doo, in the comments. You can't answer in the doobly-doo, that's my section. You can answer in the comments. One of the things that's always great for discussion and debate is who would you have dinner with of people from history or living people, either way. Living or dead, I don't care. Although it would probably be a much more pleasant dinner if they were living. But for you, if you could have a dinner party with 4 or 5 people, living or dead, from history, who would it be? Let me know down in the comments, or take it as a video tag and do me a video on that. So, as usual, don't forget to be awesome. I will talk to you again soon, hopefully. There are quite a few Disney and Pixar movies I could watch every day for a week. But But there's only one I've named a child after, so Mulan. I could easily watch Mulan every day for a week. Mulan, that would be it.